Good morning.
Morning.
Last one, huh? Excited, David, aren't you?
Oh, I am.
So am I.
Sprint to the end here. David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Mike, Minnesota's in the process of releasing Dalvin Cook. What level of interest would you and this organization have?
Didn't realize, that happened, but I think like on all these things, I think, from a personal perspective, I have great respect for his game, but, player acquisitions, it goes on, 365 days a year, so I don't really have any comment on anybody outside of our roster.
And as a follow-up to that has nothing to do with that, really. What is your, now that you're about to part ways with players and coaches here, what was or will your message be to them as they leave?
Well, I gave the message this morning, in the 7:30 team meeting. I think the biggest thing is, recognize the work that we've done, the commitment and the connection between, the starting point in the offseason program phase 1 and 2 with the veterans and the coaches, and then a big thing, and it's just the way I've always done it, is really, bridging the gap between the rookies and the veterans. And I think this class has done a very good job. I mean, you have markers that you use to judge, the mental completion challenge throughout the offseason. We've been able. Today is our 8th install, so we'll complete. They'll have everything when they walk off the field today at 12:15. They'll have everything that that we'll utilize in training camp. So what's expected of them. So we hit that target, but we've always kept track of mental errors and missed assignments, MAs and MEs, and this year was really, really good. It's a real credit to the players and the assistant coaches. Just as I told them today, it knocked it out of the park. I think just the concept teaching. I think this is probably the second year we've done it to this level. We did it some in 2021. But for both the offense and defense to really dive into the details, conceptually there in phase 1 and 2, I thought you could see the benefits of it, because then the rookies obviously came in there at the end of phase 2 and had to learn through more of the installation format. So and then on the personal meetings, the individual coaches spent the conceptual time with them. So I think I'm not to be long-winded. I just think our guys did a hell of a job. So that was a big part of the message. I'm very pleased where we are as far as our understanding and really diving into the why of each scheme and in the conversations, because the more the players are speaking, you're always asking questions to the players in the group meetings and the team meetings and the individual meetings, and the more that they're talking and interacting, and the forum gets more and more open. To me, that's a really good sign of where you are, in all 3 phases, and I think our guys did a heck of a job.
John Michaud, The Athletic. CD looked like he was limping and held himself out of a couple of drills. Is he going to go today, or?
Probably not. I mean, today, we're only, because we're running out of time, frankly, because you only have so many hours through your mini camp. So we're only going to go for 45 minutes. We're going to do. I don't know how much you watch practice, but at the beginning we'll stretch. We'll do the group part, the mock game, and then we'll do the 2 spots and make sure the rookies get everything. So and that'll be the completion of our off-season program.
But no concern there with him?
No concern. He's in the meetings and so forth. But to answer Chris, probably hold him out of it if there's any concern. There's, it's a walk through type.
Right, Babe. Bob Babe.
Bob Babe, whatever it takes, right? Yeah.
Meeting with Babe.
Babe.
Babe Laufenberg, Cowboys Radio Network. So, Mike, you talk about players getting away, coaches getting away. Where's your happy place? Where do you get away to?
My happy place?
Yeah.
Door County, Wisconsin. So that's my happy place. Decompression galore up there. But no, it's a great spot. I think anytime you have a chance to have that spot, that place is about family and friends, and it's just a really good routine for me personally. I have 5 children. The youngest is 11, so their summer hours are different than mine. So it works out good, because I go to bed before they do, and I get up way before they do, so I get a nice block in the mornings that I really enjoy to really, frankly, work on football. And it's just the way I've always done it. And then the afternoons and evenings are for family and friends. So looking forward to a little break.
Clarence.
We got a chance to see Cook's speed up close and personal. I don't know, you've probably seen it throughout the offseason, but what does that bring to your offense?
I mean, it's definitely, not only does it speed, but he's I think he's an exceptional route runner. I mean, he has a great understanding of the routes, time clocks, the specifics, getting in and out of breaks, the action release versus vertical release, the spits and spouts. So, I mean, I've been real impressed with, he's played in a number of different systems, and I just really like the detail of how he approaches his game. So, yeah, so the ability to go deep and get on top of guys, I think the biggest compliment you can give a receiver, particularly with his ability to go vertical, is when a corner is in a press bail technique, or he has total free access, and you still view him as a viable number one. So that says something about Brandin. So he's been a great fit for us so far. I mean, I'm really pleased with not only obviously his physical skills, but just the way he's come in here, and he's made that room so much better. He's made our offensive room better.
Coach Jeff Kolb with Fox 4. Last year, your theme for the team was resilience. Have you come up with a theme for 2023 yet? And how do you typically go about formulating that?
Well, I mean, did Charlotte ask you to ask that? Because, I mean, they got to get the shirts and hats. I'm getting a lot of pressure here for the word. This is like you're like the fifth person to bring it up today. So I'm just, not that they'd ever plan anything in here. So, yeah, I know what the theme is, but I'm not going to reveal the word yet. I'm going around a couple of different things, and to be honest with you, I just have always done it this way, and I just really want it to fit the 2023 football team too. So, and we'll always do that that first Monday before the regular season game. So I've always held it later, but I have to get it in for the shirts and sweatshirts. So we'll get it in here next couple of weeks, hopefully. So.
What are some of the different things in the past you've done as far as discovering that or going about? I know there was like the Kintsugi last year.
Yeah, definitely. Kintsugi was really a subtopic of our resilience scheme. It's a theme, resilience was the theme last year. Victory was the theme, in 2021. 2020 vision was the theme of 2020. So I've done it every year. I just think it's a good trigger. It's a coaching point that, we can all grab onto, and I think the players enjoy it too. It's just an emotional focal point that we can grab onto. So I've always enjoyed it, and in the football operations has I think enjoyed it also. So if they don't, let me know, because it's saving me some work.
Nick Harris, DallasCowboys.com. What have you liked from Malik Davis so far this offseason? What kind of extra opportunity do you think?
Well, when I look at Malik, it's when young guys and you see him in the preseason games. But when he got opportunities last year, boy, he was really productive. And and I just think like any young running back, it's okay. Can he be a pass protector? Can he also? What can he do in the passing game? And I tell you, he's done a really nice job. Obviously, we're not in pads till July 31st, so that's when you really get to see these guys and see your team, in that environment. So, but he has done an excellent job, particularly in the classroom. You can see his confidence, his understanding. We've been excessive in our blitz pickup. Just as things that we've been focused on more than in the past. So I think the running backs as a whole have been really, really challenged this spring, and I think those guys have handled it extremely well. So very pleased with the running back group and Malik.
Mike Todd Archer of the ESPN. Calvin Joseph didn't look like he finished practice yesterday. Was he okay?
Yeah, he's going to be fine. Yeah, I mean, I was down there with Jim and Britt this morning. I have no major injury concerns, and I think really the state of our practice structure is part of that. But yeah, there's not anybody that we're worried about right now.
And then back on Cooks and his speed. Have you had a guy like that? Usually he's 5'10". I don't know if you've had guys like him in your past that have that speed.
Yeah, I would say Dante Stallworth. Willie Davis was someone back in the early days in the '90s for the Chiefs that could really run. Had that different speed, a legitimate 3-1 type receiver. But Dante's and Brandin remind me, of each other a little bit. Just their ability just to jump out of their shoes and get on top of a corner.
Michael Gelkin, Dallas Morning News. What's the design, what you hope to achieve next week with the rookies when they're here, getting that extra time?
Well, the biggest thing is really to stay after the weight room part of it, and really take the mornings for the coaches to, just really, it's more about where they are. What do they need? Because we got 3 days of, meetings just to make sure that we can, get in front of them and keep coaching them. And then, and that doesn't stop. We make sure they have everything they need when they leave here. That's part of the message today, is just make sure that you have everything you possibly need over the 5 weeks, and then, like Dax having a group, and then, these guys are going to do things together, away from the facility throughout the 5 weeks. So just, make sure they're engaged with that. And then the afternoons is more about their personal space and, the skill development, with Brian Wansley, life skills, and is the focal point there in the afternoon. It's something that we've always done, just have always termed it rookie school. We've gone 5 days, 4 days, this year, based on the speakers and the things Brian wants to hit, because we coordinate this rookie school also with the, with the league mandated, sessions in season. So this is kind of, I've always looked at this as kind of a bonus, because, I think the timing is important. I think it's really healthy to hit these life skill topics right before they go on a 5 week break. Because remember now, these guys play college football, then they had to get ready for a draft. Boom, they get drafted, then they jump right out of draft, come to a mini camp, go in the off season. So they really haven't had a break. So I think some good healthy reminders before they go on a 5 week break. I think it's always served us well.
And Rico Dowdle, he's healthy now after having dealt with his share. What do you feel like you guys have in him and your impressions of him thus far?
Yeah, let's not forget what Rico did when he played. It's him and Malik are very similar. They're two young backs that when they got their opportunities, they produced. So, he had the hip injury last year and he's fully recovered, and that'll be a very competitive room. So, and same deal. He has a much better clarity, understanding of the protection part. It's not that. It's just we've asked more of them, and part of this process for us as coaches is, can we handle that? We're asking more of these guys, and I think our running backs, and I think Tony's been, he's obviously the leader in that room, but I think they've done an excellent job there. And Rico seems very confident in there when you go through the blitz adjustments, and I think he's definitely a viable receiver.
Aish?
Aisha Morrison, Cowboys.com. Coach, you've spoken about versatility on the offensive line. TJ Bass is a gentleman that has some of that versatility. Can you speak on what has impressed you about him so far and what he can bring to the team?
I'll tell you what, he looks like football comes pretty easy to him. It's natural. He doesn't blink. That's a real attribute for a young player. I never liked the term. It's not too big for him, because this is professional football. These guys are gifted athletes, and what they do is unique. But he has a subtle, quiet confidence to him, and I've always liked that personality, especially in the younger days, because I think that's important. I think it's important as you integrate into the locker room. But he seems very, very natural from when you watch him in the drills, and definitely a guy that I feel strongly that will have position flex. So, and that's obviously very important for a young player when it comes down to the 53 and the 48.
Carlos Nava, ESPN Deportes. Coach, how do you evaluate Isaac Alarcon after his first off-season as defensive tackle?
Well, I think first and foremost, I can't tell you how much love that we have for Isaac. He's just what a great part of our locker room. Just the relationships that he has and his journey since he's been here. We had an opportunity to spend some time together as a team last night, and then we were sitting there with Isaac and the offensive lineman, and we were all teasing him because the only reason why I was there was to get the line calls for training camp, because he's on defense now. So, but he looks good. He looks good inside. So I'm excited to see him in the padded work. It almost seems a little more natural for him on defense, and the fact that he played offensive line in the last 3 years will definitely serve him well. He's in great shape. He's always done a great job in the workout area. He's changed his body since he's been here, but I'm excited for Isaac. He's put the work in, and he's built an outstanding foundation.
Joe Javad, WFAA. What's the plan with tight end? Is it going to be rotation?
What's the plan?
Yeah. Is it going to be a rotation? Is someone pulling ahead? Is there kind of without getting into the schematics of it?
Well, I'll say this. I don't think you can ever have enough tight ends. I say this all the time. Tight end and linebacker body types are important to the design of the football team. I think when you have a vision of what you want your team to look like, It's a position of great flexibility. Definitely translate to being primary players on special teams. So, yes, they all will have roles because it's a long year. We got to be, creative and specific of how we use each and every one of them. That's part of our schematic outlook that, that we put the work in as a staff. And, yeah, so I see all those guys contributing.
Are you looking at somebody to take that role that Dalton served last year? This is my point.
Well, I think, Dalton's production obviously jumps out of it. I think clearly it'll be the combination. It's a very young room. I think we all recognize that. But, if you ever had a chance to be around them all day, they would get you excited, just the way they approach the game. Lunda does an outstanding job. The subculture that he has in the tight end room has been extremely productive. Dalton's success is it reflects that room, and Dalton was the leader in that room. But it's been cool to watch these guys really take this opportunity. I think it's gonna, if we just stay healthy, I have no concerns. That's a position of stress because of the versatility that you put these guys, the versatility of what they're asked to do both on offense and special teams.
Last one.
Mac Engel, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. If you've referenced this in the last month or so, forgive me. By any chance, Mike, did you see the comments made by the Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis about failure after his team lost in the first round of the NBA playoffs? Did you see that at all?
I'm sorry, I did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, somebody asked about the Bucks failed because they were the number one seed, they lost. It's a long answer, but we use the term failure a lot in sports. As a head coach, how do you think about using that word to define success, failure, and evaluating somebody's performance? It's a strong word.
I'll say this. I think it was like the first probably 9 years. It was a long time, but I never said the word lose or failure in front of the team. And it was like, I was very conscious about it because I was, we were a young team. And I think just like anything, when a team comes together and you do have, thresholds you're trying to get over, you're always trying to stack success and build off of the winning attributes of your performance, because obviously the result is not always a win. So, but I think just like anything, there's a lot of value in results that you don't win. So, and I think you miss that opportunity to recognize what failure can bring to, the future of your program. So I think there's so much to be learned, and when things don't go well. And the one thing that has been 100% for me as a head coach, and that's why I love the term last year, the theme of resilience, because I think a national football player is as a resilient of a person that I know I've ever encountered. I mean, you think about what these guys have overcome their whole lives to put themselves in position to play in this league. So to me, it's part of their DNA, and they recognize it, and I think they handle it today, emotionally different than 20 years ago. And I think just the education of mental health and emotional development, EQ, sports, all these educational focal points that we've all been really the last 15, 20 years. I think it really helps that, and I think it's an opportunity that you'd be remiss if you didn't take advantage of it.
Thank you, Mike. Gotta go.
David.